I'm pure noise and I be playing the drunk alcoholic. I would wish you would not be playing the hairstylist. I was just tell Eddie now be playing the things. And this is not in the name of our sins, so let's go. Hello? Okay, you can come in right now. I have no questions. All right, see you later. It's a real nice one. You got, girl, you do real good. You heard right. Anyway, thank you. Hey, you know this girl named Chrissy? I think I heard that name before. Wow. Girl, she was trying to talk my customers' fans, girl. How you know? My customers be talking. You know your customers. Anyways. How you want this hair yours? Girl, make it real nice. My man taking me to dinner. Yeah, I guess. All right, I know you like every time. No, 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 no. Girl, ain't going nowhere. Can I just take them out? Girl, just chill. Man, whatever. Anyways, like, oh, I heard about her child. Girl, I heard she got the feet. Girl, that son, she be doing all that. What's her last name? May. See, you know what? That's why black women can't get along now. I always get somebody busy. Girl, have several seats. You acting like you know her. Come here, come here. I just ain't got nothing. Oh, so you don't want. You don't want. You don't want. I ain't the fool, she is.